Hey everyone, welcome back to From Concept to Code. My name is Roux from Pixelspace, and today we will be building our own task planner. We're going to use Lovable to do this, and Lovable is a vibe coding platform which uses AI. It helps you make things really quickly, and I find it to be one of the most impressive tools that there currently is out there. We're going to use the voice to text function in Lovable to get started, and we'll be using the chat mode to begin prompting with Lovable, just to make sure that we can discuss what it is that we're planning to build before jumping into the delivery. Hey Lovable, I'd like to build a personal task planner. Obviously we'll need to have sign in so that I can come back and my tasks will still be there. I want to use Lovable Cloud, which is Lovable's integrated backend, so that we can save the information in tables. If we wanted to, we could add images to the tasks using buckets as well. And obviously I want to be able to mark things as being in progress or done, perhaps putting associated costs or time estimations, or if you're into agile, potentially story points as well. I want to keep it simple for the first version, but I'd like to make sure that we can add in different fields that we might want as we go to tasks. So maybe there's field configuration with some preset fields, and then when I create a task, I can see all those fields there so I can fill them in. And then if I wanted to, I can go and add new fields later so that when I view the task, that new field will be available there. I think that'd be really great for like configurability, just to make sure that we can expand the platform easily without having to shove all of the information about a task into one box. So I'm going to stop recording there. I'm going to press go on the chat mode. Maybe we'll get asked some questions just to clarify some points. And then when we're ready, we can actually start building out the implementation itself. The first thing it might do is probably ask questions or prompt us to enable Lovable Cloud. I think it will be asking us questions maybe, so let's see. Okay, so how would you like to view and organize the tasks? Kanban board, a simple list, or both? I'm gonna go with both. I was gonna maybe build out the simple list first and then add on the Kanban board. Actually no, I'm gonna go simple list, and then we can add it on, just to make sure that the Lovable is really specific in terms of what it builds, and then we can add more things. We don't have to overwhelm it with so many different features all in one go. For configurable field feature, what level of flexibility do you need? Rich types, basic types. I'm gonna say rich types, and I'm gonna say clean and minimal for a visual style, and I'm gonna submit the answers there. I don't think there's anything else you wanna add. A simple task list with configurable fields to start is good enough. If I've used something like Jira before, I can imagine that I click on one of those list items and a window pops up to show me all the details on the right-hand side. So maybe we can do something like that as well. More questions. How about task organization? Do you want projects, categories, or keep it simple? I'm going to say group tasks under different projects or categories. I think that's important. Do you want due dates and deadline tracking for tasks? Yep, I'm going to say optional due dates as well, but we won't do reminders for the minutes as well. We can always continue to build out the functionality of this once we're happy with the core. So at the core of this platform, I think, is a task, is a item. And then around that item could be all sorts of configuration, but very much fundamentally is just that one item that we start with. So we've got 3 phases here apparently: the foundation, so Lovable Cloud, core task management, and configurable field system. So I'm going to jump straight in and click implement the plan, and you can see straight away we've got enable Lovable Cloud. So that does mean in the future, because we're using Lovable Cloud, we could use the native LLM in the app. So that might be to ask AI questions or do smart searches. Maybe you want to search for all tasks in a project with a due date that is next week. Rather than having to go and filter all of that, you can use that search if you wanted to, and then immediately get returned that result. Now, Lovable's creating the database schemas, authentication, components, field configuration, and then the storage setup as well, because we want to be able to store those images. We're going to have the database being spun up and all the tables and buckets created. I've got it set to always allow for the purpose of this project. Generally, I always want to be asked each time what I'm going to implement in the database, just so I can check the security. I can check that it's in line with what I'm wanting to actually create as well. But for this platform, I'm happy with the fact that I've kept it quite simple. I can review the implementation as I go, remove any additional columns that we didn't want, check the RLS policies as well. So let's just have a quick look at what's being created. So there's a task status, there's to do, in progress, and done. Maybe I could add review to that if I wanted to. There's field types, so text, number, date, drop down, checkbox, a file, that's good. Public profiles, so that I have a profile, the concept of projects, the concept of tasks, field definitions as well, so that we know what a field is made up of, and the field values as well. So we have fields, and then the user has field values, and effectively they go together, and then what you'll see is the result of the definition of the field, so what's possible, and then obviously what the user's gone ahead and put in. Task attachments, so any attachments I might have, then enabling RLS on the project as well. Now replace handle new user on auth user, triggers. And then we have the storage buckets, which are great. So that's actually been able to store those task attachments there. As that's been an auto confirm, that's gone ahead and created all of those tables in that SQL. We don't have to worry about confirming that. And in the meantime, you'll see that Lovable's now creating the authentication, the tasks, projects, and use tasks. So those are the hooks, which basically pull in the data from the backend. And then we'll get to a point where it implements those front-end components as well. Okay, cool. So Lovable is done with all of those files, and you can see now our wonderful preview pops up. And great, I have no tasks available, or no tasks currently. I have 0 projects, and in my field configuration, I have cost, time estimate, story points, and due date. So let's go ahead and create a task. So I'm gonna say test task. And instantly I can't type in. So I'm gonna say I can't type into the task title field when creating a new task. And let's just quickly check. I can't type into any fields. It doesn't seem. Nope. It flickers and empties the field. Perfect, great start. But it looks nice. So I'm going to create a project as well. So I can create a project, and I think the reason that we can't do the fields is because they're dynamic, so they're loading in. So it'll be interesting to see what Lovable has to say about it. So new project, I'm going to call it Pixelspace. Description, our workspace, maybe color, we'll go orangey red. So we have one new project, that's great. We still have our same fields. So the issue is in the task form dialog, the user effect resets form data whenever field values change, which clears the title. I'll fix this. So whenever field values load, which happens continuously, it resets the form. For new tasks, task is null, so it keeps resetting empty values. The issue was a dependency issue. Okay, now only form resets when the dialog opens with a different task. So new task, make a test task. I'm going to put it as instantly done, and I'll put it in the Pixelspace project. Due today, cost 1 million. 1 million somethings. So we have that task created. That's perfect. It's done for Pixelspace. I can obviously filter by statuses or see all of them as well, filter by projects, etc. In effect, we have a working task management system which you could share and anyone could use it. Obviously, it's going to be unique to me. So if someone joins your team, you might want to make it so that you can invite people to projects and then you can share tasks within projects. It's very simple to do. It's one prompt away. So what we'll do, just to end part 1 of this video, is to create a Kanban board so that we can see all of the tasks and we can move them between their different statuses, which will just give us a nice visualization so that we can kind of see our tasks on a day-to-day basis. Add a Kanban view. What I find really interesting about this is historically people have paid for tools like Trello and others, and I'm sure they'll continue to do that. There are many amazing tools out there, Jira, etc., which sometimes just do the job for people, but other times they're quite complex and you're bounded by their rules. This obviously allows you to build something that is exactly for you, for what it is you're trying to accomplish. And you can connect all sorts of things, for example, N8N if you wanted to. So you could trigger tasks, complete tasks, then trigger events outside of your platform. Or you could create tasks and they're coming in from your N8N connection. So it's really powerful actually when you start to have a task engine like this that you're in control of. And so yeah, have a think about some ideas of how you might want to use it for one of your projects. Great, so added a Kanban view with the columns to do, in progress and done. Use the toggle buttons next to new task to switch between them. So there's my Kanban view. I have this one in done. Now I can set as to do, I can set as in progress, but actually I want to drag it. So add drag and drop to Kanban. So I'll click add drag and drop. Hopefully that'll make it so I can just drag them across. I actually really like how clean this looks. I've made task management in Lovable before and it's been really clunky and not worked very well. So I can imagine that they've obviously improved this generally, obviously the platform, but also there will be some key platforms that they're probably focusing on making sure work for people as well. And I can imagine this is probably one of them. So it's kind of good that they've done that. Installing Hello Pages DND, drag and drop. So there's a specific functionality that they're going to import here, which we can use, which is great because it means it'll probably work well. You can now drag and drop between columns and Kanban, view to change their status, the column highlights when dragging over it. Amazing. So drag. Okay. So the column didn't highlight, but I dropped my task into there and it dropped nicely. What you'll find is you see it jumped back and then it jumped to the one that you just moved it to. That's to be expected. I think what you can do is you can ask for optimistic updates so that when you drag it there, basically the UI will put it there instantly. If you want to see other tutorials on how to build things with Lovable, please come along and subscribe, follow, whatever, our channel. We're building a bunch of different things. We've got a bunch of tutorials on there, how-tos, news and everything, and we'll be only making our channel better. So we'd love you to join us on our journey as well.